Yes, we're going to connect to Archangel Chamuel today, and I just want to remind you that there's information we shared with you in your library, but you can go using AI like Google AI or Perplexity. They both are free, and you can get whatever information you like, and that's why we gave you some, but we didn't want to overload you with a lot of information because it's so readily available. And so go and explore it. We're here mainly to focus on giving you experiences because you can get that information easily, as I've just said. And but you what is harder to do is actually have an experience. You understand? So we value more like giving you healing, helping you shift things, just helping you raise your frequency. And yeah, we're going to teach you in things. We're going to give you information, but the focus is on helping you transform. And people don't transform by just absorbing knowledge. They just don't. So you can go out there and, like I said, use AI to go research all these things, but that's not going to shift your frequency. I wish it was that simple, but it just isn't. And what is more likely to happen is you'll have a lot of perhaps conflicting information in your mind because different sources will say different things. So we're always going to recommend that you go direct, right? That you have your direct experience of anyone or anybody, anything, Archangel Chamuel, of course, your loved one across the veil, that you by doing that, realize you're basically stating by your action that, well, I am source energy and I can get my own contact and experience. It's just that you've been programmed to put your trust in other people. And that's all well and good. I know you're taking this class because you trust us and we appreciate that, but we want you to trust yourself more. So if at any time anything that I say doesn't resonate with you, just let it go. Just say, all right, that doesn't fit for me. Maybe it just isn't, you know, something for you to incorporate into this life for the theme you're here to explore. That's fine. It doesn't mean I'm wrong or you're wrong or anybody's wrong. It just means this is not for you. So, but we're wanting to emphasize is that we're living in an age, a time when people are meant to go direct, to have direct experiences of all kinds, including, of course, your loved ones on the other side, which is what many of you are trying to do, who are especially those of you in our academy. The archangels are here to just help you heal yourself, support you in transmuting some beliefs you have of unworthiness, perhaps, or maybe you've been judging yourself harshly about something from your past, and that's blocking your ability to love yourself. See, and this is important to love yourself because here's the thing, like, how can you love somebody else truly, completely, especially how can you love them unconditionally, if you're harboring limiting beliefs and self-judgment about yourself, right? Like you're condemning yourself and you're criticizing yourself and you haven't forgiven yourself. So a lot of times, the person we most need to forgive is us. And once we do that, it becomes easier to forgive other people, right? It's usually those two are working together. Like if you truly love yourself, at peace with yourself, you'll find it easier to forgive others. And when I say forgive others, I'm not saying condoning their negative actions if that's what they did. I'm saying forgiving them for your sake so that you will be set free, because judgment against somebody else is a judgment against ourselves, because we're part of them and they're part of us. So you cannot ever, ever feel good, feel positive emotion, or have a high frequency if you condemn another person. You can say, I don't like their behavior, I abhor their behavior, the actions that they took, but you as a soul are meant to love everyone unconditionally. regardless of their behavior, but it doesn't mean you have to, again, condone it and say it's okay by me that they did that to me or other people. But you need to separate the action of the person in a body in this case, right? Their action is separate from who they are as a soul, because we're all here on the earth plane, living in a world of contrasts where it's virtually impossible to not make a mistake or hurt somebody. You just can't, because you come in forgetting your divinity and you're misaligned, right? You're not lined up, your energy is not lined up with your soul, your spirit. So of course you're going to you're going to do a little bit of damage now and then. Most of the time it's unconscious, like not deliberate. But even when it is deliberate, when you or someone did something out of rage or anger, you were in that state of rage and anger because you were distorted. You were not who you truly are. You were more connected in that moment to your primal self, right? Your physical mind self, your personality ego self, which is run by fear. And so when you're connected with that side more than being a blended being, as we talked about in our live stream today, you're meant to be blended with a higher mind and physical mind. If you're not, and you're mostly letting the physical mind run your life, then of course you're going to make mistakes. But guess what? This is what you came here to explore. I I know some of you are going, "What? I came here to like mess up? I came here to like hurt people?" No, not to deliberately hurt people. But you came here knowing you're here to explore the conscious. You knew that it's very likely that you're going to make mistakes and that you were going to hurt people inadvertently, or they would hurt you. But you knew that we're going to learn from this. We're going to learn for our mistakes, or at least we can, right? We can. You certainly will learn when you cross over and you review your life, as they will too. Everyone does. You'll review your life and go, oh, I did that. Oh, that didn't go well. Why did I do that? You go through your life review. You experience what other people experienced because of you, both the good things, the positive things that you did for them that affected them positively, and the not so good, right? The negative things that you might have done that harmed them. So you're going to experience all of that, like all of the mix of that. And for all of us, it is a mix. Nobody comes out of their life review saying, oh, I did everything perfect. I never hurt a single person. I never made a mistake. That's not expected of you. It just isn't expected of you. If you did it, great. If you come through your life review and you mostly did a lot of good, great. But even if you didn't, you really messed up, you can learn from that. And some people sign up for this life knowing that there's a high likelihood they're really going to like screw up. But they're taking on the challenge anyway because they know whatever happens, I can grow from that. I can choose to grow and learn from that. So I have nothing to lose. And I'll just do my best, right? So today, Archangel Chamuel says, first we're going to work on you to heal your any lack of self-love that you have going, and forgiving yourself for whatever you believe you may have done wrong, okay? Like judging yourself. There's nothing you did wrong. It's just errors in judgment, mistakes that may have hurt yourself even, right? And perhaps hurt others. But whoever was hurt, if you're in line with who you really are, that is never your intention, but you can have a good intention and still things could go wrong. Here's the other thing. Sometimes people may feel hurt by maybe what you said or did, whatever. I'm saying hurt emotionally. And it might really not be your responsibility. That's what you'll see when you cross over to the other side too. You'll go through your life review and go, wow, that person felt very insulted or hurt, traumatized even by what I said or did, what have you. But I was coming from a clear place. I was doing my best. They were distorted. In other words, they may have had a huge negative ego, and they took offense at something when you didn't mean offense, but they inferred it, right? Like they took it and said, well, but she must really mean this, right? So they're in a way delusional. Alan's laughing. He goes, a lot of people are delusional. They're just taking everything personally. Like, it's all about me. Like, and seeing offense everywhere when people are like, I'm not meaning to offend you. I'm just stating my truth, right? So you will see that too when you cross over. You go, oh, they felt really angry at me or hurt because, but I didn't really do anything deliberately. That wasn't my intention. And actually, that was their distortion. You will see that too. And he's saying to me, and some of you yourself have distorted some of these experiences, meaning that people have done things and you've taken offense when they didn't really mean that. You were just maybe in a certain mindset and you had that experience and you took it the wrong way. Haven't many of us done that? You go, oh, I thought you meant that, or I thought, and I've got my feelings hurt, or I felt really upset. So all of that, it happens here in this reality because we're not seeing clearly. Whereas on the other side, you would know right away, and you wouldn't act in a misaligned way anyway, because you're obviously in spirit and you're not, your physical mind is not doing anything. You don't have physical mind. But when you're here, all those errors in judgment, they're just part of this earth plane experience. So we need to both at the same time, let take ourselves off the hook, right? Like, wait, I'm not responsible, but also take appropriate responsibility. Like, where did I misstep? And maybe I do need to make amends with somebody. And maybe that somebody you don't have contact with anymore because they don't want to talk to you, or they're not in your life anymore for whatever reason, right? And you can't reach out to them and say, I'm so sorry for what happened. Maybe they've crossed over. If they've crossed over, you can actually still connect with them and make amends. But here's the thing. If they've crossed over, they have moved on from it. Like, they're not upset about it anymore because they went through their life review and they saw why you did or said or what you did or said and realized, oh, you were kind of misaligned. You were out of it. You didn't really mean that. You were just not yourself. You were distorted. And so they quickly forgive you and moved on because there's no point. Because they know once they cross over, oh, yeah, well, we're here in this life and we're going to make mistakes. And this is why that happened. And okay, I'll let go. They're not going to hang on to anything because they're living only in the now, which is what we encourage you to do. So does that make sense? So Chamuel says that's first thing for you, your mind to understand. Like, I can't be here and not make a mistake. My goal is to make as few as possible, obviously. I'm not here to say, I don't care. I'll just make whatever mistakes I want to make, like a bull in a china shop, bashing about going, I don't care what I break. Of course you care. But some mistakes are going to be inevitable. And so don't let it take you down, right? Because you want to evolve spiritually. And if you're trying to connect with somebody on the other side, you want to keep your vibration, your frequency high. And self-judgment, self-condemnation is not going to do that. It's not going to let you do that. You're just going to have a very dense vibration. All right. So we're going to lead you through an exercise with that. Well, Shamuel is. And he's saying, okay, let's get started. So I'd like you to get comfortable wherever you are. Okay, just get comfortable. And if you have your camera on, you want to turn it off, that's fine. You do whatever you like, but just get comfortable. Okay, because he says he wants to take you really deep. Right. So get comfortable. Now, I'm just going to have you just take a few deep cleansing breaths on your own. Okay, just breathe in through your nose. Hold it for a moment or two, and then breathe out. Take another deep breath in. Hold it for a minute or two, and let out. Breathe it out. Take another deep breath in through your nose. And breathe out your mouth. Breathe in again. And now set the intention to relax, relax, relax. Imagine or see or feel your body feeling light, feeling free, feeling at peace. Take a moment right now to love your body. Broadcast, beam, and feel love for your body. Gather up this feeling of love within you that is your core vibration. It is who you truly are. And flood your body with your love. And if it helps you any, tap into the love you feel for your loved ones in your life, whether they're still in a body or on the other side. Love is love. Bring all of that love into you and flood your body with your love. Because remember, you are source energy in a body. You are God's love. You are the totality of all the love in creation, and you are the unique expression of the love that you are. You are both. You are the one, total, and you are a singular being, the unique soul that you are. So fill yourself up with that love. Let that love go into every cell and organ of your body. Let that love flush out any energies, any beliefs, any frequencies that are not aligned with love. Let this magnificent, perfect love detox you of whatever you no longer need that doesn't serve you. Just drink from this well of love that is source of existence itself. And let this love overflow within you. Let this love fountain out of the top of your head. And as you experience your love, that is God's love, Archangel Chamuel draws in close. So see, feel, or imagine him now in whatever way you do. Feel that love moving through you. Feel that love releasing what you need to release. Feel that love expand your vibration, your frequency. Feel this love emanating from you. It's as if it's pouring out of you, literally through the pores of your skin. There's so much love within you that it is now flooding your aura, so that the space around you is filled with perfect, unconditional love. So now this love is within you and it surrounds you. Can you feel, see, or imagine how far this field or sea of love extends around you? Perhaps it's limitless. Perhaps there's a border to it. Whatever you sense or feel or know is appropriate and true for you. There's no lesser or greater or right or wrong. There's only what you experience. Now, Archangel Chamuel is working on you. I see him, and some of you, wrapping his wings around you to heal you. You might feel sensations in your body. You might feel heat, you might feel tingles, you might feel coolness. You might not feel anything. Just let your experience be whatever it is for you. Chamuel is asking that if there's anyone in your life that you're carrying any resentment towards or judgment about, that if you're ready for it, if you're willing, he asks that you imagine them with you and that you send your love to them, knowing that whatever you give is going to return to you. If you're ready to forgive them, to set yourself free, he invites you to do that. He's going to help you do that so that you can find peace again, so that you then can raise your frequency higher and let go of being chained to the past. Because whatever went wrong between you is no longer happening, and you do not need to recreate it. For doing so will only distort you. So send love to this person. See them as the soul that they are, not the flawed human that is stuck in their negative ego. That is not their true self. See their true self now. See who they really are as a soul, as a perfect expression of creation. And forgive them as you forgive yourself. Not for their sake, only for your sake. It doesn't matter if you ever tell them. This is all for and about you, so that you can reclaim your power as a soul, as a sovereign being who loves themselves and others unconditionally, because you know that you are the creator of your life, and nothing can harm you unless you invite it in or you create it. And while Archangel Chamuel is associated with love, well, all the archangels are really, but he's associated with love and peace and bringing harmony to the relationships we have. He is also, like all the archangels, a master healer, not just of your emotions, of your mind, but of your body. So if you have any physical issues, he now wants to help direct his love and your love to that area, to fuse it with love. For love is the master healer. So place your awareness on wherever in your body you may be experiencing any discomfort, pain, illness, disease. Just going to send love, fill that area with love. Infuse it with love. Bask in this love. And when you rewatch this video, which we suggest you do, you might want to just stay in this state longer to receive more healing. You can just turn the sound off or take your headphones off or however you listen to it and just be in this state right now with Archangel Chamuel. And just continue to experience this love, be in this healing state for as long as you wish. And Chamuel is working on you a little bit longer. Just going to let him continue. He's saying that the more you love yourself and others, the higher your frequency will be, right? But he wants to emphasize that humans get confused about love. People oftentimes associate more with romance. I'm not saying that romance is a form of love, of course it is. But love is a power, force that creates worlds. And it is more than your romanticized understanding or even experience of that. It's not, it's so much more than that. So he's inviting you to really expand your understanding and experience of love, of unconditional love, because really that is the state that if you can achieve that state and be in that state of unconditional love, no matter what is happening in your life, no matter what other people are doing, you can stay in that state of love, no matter what. You're tuned in to your soul, and you will be perfectly guided if there's something that you need to do, action that you need to take perhaps, right? Or something you need to say, you will be guided. But if you just let love be the guiding force, it will see you through to your highest good. Saying that for many of you that may be easier to tap into than the idea of following your bliss or your passion, because some of you don't have a hard time discerning what that is. But most of you know what love feels like, especially those who are attempting to love someone across the veil because they are loving us unconditionally, intensely. Whereas most of the people in a body around us are not quite there yet. It's very difficult for people in a body, because they have a negative ego, to love unconditionally in the truest sense of that word. They're loving us as best they can. So we're not trying to demean that, but it's not unconditional love. It is conditional, meaning that if you did something XYZ to upset them, they would withdraw their love, right? And I don't mean that you're doing anything abusive. I just mean like there's conditions on it. You have to meet their expectations. That's just part of the human experience. But when you're connecting to someone in the spirit world and forging a relationship with them, they are beaming you unconditional love, right? And that love, if you're letting it in by loving yourself, right? Because it's of not best that you're feeling this love for them, but you're not loving yourself. Then you can't really love them as fully as you want to, because you have to include yourself, right? So if you can reach for that, reach for love, reach for that feeling of love in every situation, because Chamuel is saying that can be your guiding force. Like, what does love guiding me to do? Is love guiding me to take a walk today that would bring me more love into my heart, into my being? What is love calling me to do? Try that if you're having a difficult time following your joy and your passion, which is what we teach in the academy. We've done that lately. This is important because that will help you be guided in your life, and it'll also uplift you, right? Raise your frequency. Now Chamuel is saying, of course there are going to be times when you're not in a loving state because you're in the 3D world, and you might even get angry. And he's saying, don't misunderstand that angels can get angry too, but anger in that instance is a way of saying no, like putting a limit, a boundary up, saying, no, you don't get to do that to me or to others, right? It's like it's putting a stop sign there, like, no. So anger is appropriate in response to inappropriate behavior. that is crossing a line, that is harming you or others. It's okay to get angry, but to take it further, to criticize, condemn, to judge, that is negative. That is disempowering you. You're disempowering yourself when you then go into condemnation, because your soul doesn't condemn anyone. It does say no forcefully and even angrily, to say you crossed a line, like stop. Right. Right. So fill yourself up with love, but know that, yes, there'll be times when you're not feeling that so fully. That's okay. And then you know you can recalibrate yourself once you come back into alignment with the love that you are. Because while you're in the physical world, yes, there are times when you're going to react emotionally, not be in harmony with the love that you are. That's all right. Just know that you can find your way back, and you will. All right, now, Chamuel is doing one last, what I see it as like a sweep of your energy field to just, again, just fill you up with this love. All right, and he's asking you to imagine this love that's enveloping you, that's all around you. Imagine that you can put into this field of love any hurts, any resentment, again, any condemnation you have towards yourself or others. Just put this into this love. Imagine this love is almost like this fire of love, and that you're casting it into this fire of love to be transmuted, to be released. You can do that. You can do that simply through the power of your intention, to let it go. I let go of any judgment and condemnation or beliefs of my unworthiness. I let all this negativity go. Just see it being transmuted through this love. You cannot destroy energy, but it can change its form. So this energy is now being transmuted. And it's returned to a state of neutrality, not yet converted to love. Neutrality is perfect too. You're not always meant to be feeling intense emotion. You can be in a neutral state. Having strong positive emotion and negative emotion are the two kind of extremes, and we can also be neutral, right? In this neutral state, you can navigate those three positions. Right. Now, as Chamuel saying, this healing is coming to a close, we want you to imagine, see, or feel that you're sending roots down through the base of your spine or the bottoms of your feet, or it could be a grounding cord like a rope or a tube. But send these roots, this cord, down to the earth, anchor it to Mother Earth. Just see, feel, or imagine yourself doing that. And then bring that earth energy up from the earth into your body. Bring it up through the bottoms of your feet or the base of your spine. Let that earth energy start to move up from your feet, up to your legs, to your thighs, into your pelvis, into your stomach, into your chest. Let that earth energy roll down your shoulders, going through your arms, fountaining out of your hands. Let that earth energy move up through your neck, into your head. Let that earth energy fountain out of the top of your head, into your aura, into your field. And this earth energy is merging with this love that you're still swimming in. So you're grounding this love into your body, into your reality. Feel the peace and the bliss of that. And just swirl that energy of love with the earth energy. And Chamuel is backing away a little bit, and he's saying that you may call on him at any time. If there's any struggles you're having with loving yourself or others, especially if you're having difficulties in relationships with anyone, whether that relationship is in the physical through the veil, Chamuel is the one to call on to help you make peace, to help you bring resolution to whatever issues there are. Ask Chamuel to heal your relationship with someone. And again, even if that someone is through the veil, he's saying that he could be like a relationship counselor, if you will, to help remind you, both of you, that you are the essence of love, and that whatever seems to have gone wrong between you is just a misunderstanding, and you can let go of it. Because all that matters is now. The history of what happened in the past doesn't have to be repeated in the now. You can let it go, knowing that you learned from whatever went awry between you. Let it go. Because here's the thing. When a spirit who's in an incarnation does something they realize later was a mistake, an error in judgment, that or harmed themselves or another, they immediately learn from that. They immediately realize, oh, that was not what I wanted. That didn't turn out well for me or that person. And they feel regret. So that's why you can forgive people, because they are the ones that are going to be the harshest critics of themselves. They are, because they know what they did. They feel your pain, right? And they can't go back and change it. Even if they want to so desperately, they can't undo it. But they've learned from it. You don't need to, therefore, hold this resentment. Let it go. For to hold resentment is just going to magnetize to you more situations and experiences that will generate resentment. So why would you want to do that? You don't want to broadcast resentment to the universe that then delivers you more things to be resentful about. Find peace, let go, be in the moment. This is where all your power is. Know that you and you alone, right, creates your reality, creates your experience. Go free. Chamuel has some homework for you. He's saying if you are willing to and it feels, good to you, you can, call on him in meditation. You could channel him, just ask after you've just meditated on him, reflected on him, or whatever you feel called to do. It doesn't have to be any specific protocol, but you could channel him and tap into whatever message he has for you. Ask him if he has something he wants to tell you or share with you, and then trust whatever you experience. It could be just a fleeting feeling that you get. It could be a full-blown message that comes through. It could be some other sensation, some other knowing. It could be a symbol that comes into your mind, right? Because here's how spirit communication works. And we'll repeat it, whether we've said it before or not, because it bears repeating, because even our students sometimes forget. When you call on a loved one in the spirit world, or in this case, Archangel Chamuel, or any non-physical being, say, I want to connect with you, they're right there. So when you ask a question and you say, is there something you want to share with me, a message of any sort? And remember, the message could be not in words. It could be symbolic. It could be a sensation. We want to expand your definition of communication to be also nonverbal. When you ask for a message or communication, the next thing you do is trust what happens. What is the next thought or sensation or message or word or whatever? What is it? That's their message, right? Just assume whatever happens next, that's their message. If you keep doing this and trusting it, even if initially it doesn't make sense, it'll get stronger, it'll get clearer, right? You're practicing this. Some of you are good at this. Many of you are just starting out with this, and that's okay. It doesn't matter where you're out at on that spectrum of, am I new to this? Am I well trained in this, right? Like I'm used to whatever. Just know that when you call out, in this case, you can use this at today's guided exercise, right? To tap into Chamuel, obviously, because we called him in. So you listen to this video, you had experience in meditation, right? You blended with him. Now would be a good time. Okay, I'm going to connect with Chamuel more deeply, and I'm going to ask for a message. We're not going to do that today in class, but you can do that on your own after this, right? You can say, all right, I'm going to sit down and connect with Chamuel. And or you call on him for help if you have any relationships that could use some smoothing over. When I opened up spiritually, I knew that my ex-husband was carrying a lot of anger toward me because of our marriage. Not so much the marriage itself, but just how I tried to make things right with him. I tried to reconcile with him. And I came to realize too late that, I just wasn't in love with him. But I wanted to be in love with him because he was such a great guy. And so I tried to rekindle things, and then inevitably twice I just said, no, this isn't working for me. So I knew he was carrying a lot of hurt about it and anger, and I knew I couldn't talk to him. So I asked my angels, I asked my guides, please help me heal this relationship, because I don't want him to be carrying all this. I want him to feel peace, because I want to feel peace too. I forgave myself, but I wanted him to find peace for his sake. In other words, I wanted him to forgive me, not for my sake, but for his, because I knew the burden that is, that this anger, this resentment. And so one day I got the message from my guides that everything was okay. The way I got this message was my mother said she had run into him and had talked to him. And I right then had this feeling like, go talk to him, like go talk to him. So I found out that he just opened a business, a bakery, and I knew where it was, I knew the location. And I went there intuitively. I guess I just knew that he would be, and he was there by himself in the bakery. He just started it and he was working there. I kind of tapped on the door. It was like a glass door. Um, and he waved at me and he let me in. And we talking like nothing had ever gone wrong between us. He was so friendly, so cordial, and I knew that that had been arranged by my higher self and my guides, my angels, because could be no other explanation. Okay, for him to suddenly be like act like we're best friends again. And at some point, I think it was about maybe 10 minutes or 15 minutes into talking to him, I leaned over to him and took his hand and I said, I'm so sorry for everything. And got a little emotional and he looked at me and he said, know, I know. And after that, we kept chatting and talking. And he said, do you want to go to our high school reunion together? Because we went to high school together. And I said, sure. He goes, yeah, okay. I said, I'll drive. Then you can have a drink. And he goes, great. So from then on, we were on good terms. He even ended up inviting Alan and me to a dinner with some friends. You know, we would run into him in Honolulu, and he was always friendly, and we were on good terms. But I know that wasn't my doing alone. I knew I couldn't like go fix it by calling him up. I also knew when it was time to reach out because I got the impulse. I felt it in my body. It didn't make any logical sense. I just felt it. So let the angels help you, make peace for your sake and theirs. Because like I said, I was at peace with it because I forgave myself. I knew like, okay, I didn't understand what I was doing. I thought I loved him, but I didn't know what love really was. Not even until much later, after I had opened up, a few years later is when I met Alan. And then I knew what love really was. So call in Chamuel, ask him to help you. It's not unusual for people whose loved ones have transitioned to still have resentment or anger about them. I did. That was my main challenge. I knew Alan wasn't dead. I wasn't grieving that. I was grieving what might have been because our relationship hadn't really been everything it could have been because he had dropped the ball and hadn't been the best husband by his own admission. So was carrying a lot of regret about that and anger about that I'd suppressed. In order to be in the relationship, I had suppressed all this resentment about his behavior that had to come up. So we had to process that. And I did. So if you have anything like that going on toward anyone on the other side, you can let it go. Don't wait until you cross over to find peace with this. Let it go now. They've forgiven you for anything you may have done, quote, wrong. I don't like to use the word wrong because, again, that conveys judgment. But any mistake you made that hurt them or harmed them, they've let it go because they see the bigger picture of why the earth plane school is so tough. And we do make lots of mistakes. We're not trying to do it deliberately. It's just like when you go to school, conventional school, don't you make mistakes? Don't you get the answers wrong? Didn't you misunderstand the exercise and did something else? Like, yeah, that's how you learn. We learn through our errors as much as we learn through our triumphs. Even in this world, right? People who are achieving things, sometimes great things, many times they've made a lot of mistakes, a lot of blunders. in leading to some invention or to some breakthrough. It's part of the whole growth path eternally. So you got to cut yourself some slack and say, all right, I messed up. I learned from that. I'm going to move on and trust that you learned what you need to learn, which you did. All right. So connect with Archangel Chamuel and share your experiences in school, in our school community. Okay. We have a post there. It's kind of pinned towards the top in the community section. You'll see it say Healing with Archangels. So go in and share. What have you experienced? Did you connect with Archangel Chamuel? What happened? Did your relationship through the veil or in the physical world get better? You know, it may not happen instantly. That's okay. Call on Chamuel to help you. Here's the other thing he's saying. Like, if you, this is what I did when I was angry at Alan after he passed, and I would get so angry I couldn't really talk to him. I was so angry. So I was talking to what I call his higher self, his archangel self, and I have conversations with that part of it and say, why is he doing this, or why isn't this happening, or I don't even remember now what I was upset about. But his archangel self would answer in a very distinctive voice, so I knew it wasn't me making it up, and I knew it wasn't Alan. It spoke in this East Indian accent, right? Like he was from India. And it made me laugh. I just, like I said, because I have one of my best friends, she's Indian, from India. And I told her, he sounds like you, Swati. He's talking like you with an Indian accent. She cracked up. She just thought it was hilarious. So he just wanted me to know, yeah, this is not Alan. I am. And he would tell me how to understand certain things about Alan. And he told me from Alan's perspective as a human, right? Like why certain things happen the way they did. And so you can talk to Archangel Chamuel for that, because Chamuel just told me that. So do you want to understand your loved one across the veil, like why they did what they did, or are you having difficulty like processing that? He'll explain it to you. You can call a Chamuel. He'll say, all right, let me help you understand your partner, your loved one, whoever they are, whoever it is, whether it's a friend, family member, whatever. He'll help you understand it. Or even if that person is still in a body, he'll help you understand it. You understand your friend? Like, why are they being such a jerk to you? Like, what's going on? You know, he'll talk to you. He'll say, here, let me show you, let me explain. This is what they're going through. This is who they are. So that you can find peace and say, oh, I get it. I'm not taking it personally anymore. It is never about you. Somebody's way of treating you is reflection of them. Their behavior is a mirror of who they are, of what they're dealing with, their insecurities, their fears, right? Whatever their issues are, that's what's coming out. Okay, so understand that. Don't take it personally. Don't say, oh, if they're not treating me nicely or caringly as I would like them to, it means I don't deserve that. Here's the thing. I knew I deserved love. I didn't feel unworthy. I just thought there was something wrong with Alan when there was. He admitted it, goes, oh, there's so many things wrong with me, Pam. And so, but I didn't take it personally and get my feelings hurt. I just felt like disappointed. Like, how come we can't have a great time together? Because you're so, messed up. But I didn't get my feelings hurt. My self-esteem wasn't damaged. I was just carrying this resentment. So whatever you're carrying, perhaps towards someone on the other side or in a body, process that. You cannot love yourself unconditionally unless you love others unconditionally. You have to love everybody, or you're not really loving anyone unconditionally. Does that make sense? You can't say, oh, I love my children unconditionally, but I don't love my father unconditionally. No, you either are loving everyone unconditionally and then filled with that unconditional love for yourself and them, or you're not loving anybody unconditionally. It doesn't work that way, people. It just doesn't. So You want to experience the power of unconditional love for yourself and others in your life, you have to love everyone. It doesn't mean you have them in your life if they're distorted and they're abusive. No, you draw the line, you show them the door, or you leave and say, can't be in your life. Yeah, you set the boundary. But that boundary still must be placed and drawn from a place of unconditional love. Say, I love myself unconditionally so much and you that I know it is appropriate for me to draw this line and I cannot be in your life. Because to be in your life when you are being abusive to me would not be loving myself unconditionally, right? I didn't have to draw a line with Alan. He wasn't being abusive. If he was literally hurting me physically and demeaning me emotionally, that would be abusive. I would have been out. No, he was just not engaged, right? He was like dissociated. He wasn't all there. He wasn't being mean. He was just not being present. So there's a scale there, if that makes sense, right? So yeah, he wasn't the perfect husband, but he wasn't abusive. He was helpful and he could be kind, but he was just not present. He wasn't engaging with me. He wasn't really talking to me. He wasn't really involved. So it was that. So draw the line with some people to protect yourself, okay? But you still, as a soul, are here to love everyone unconditionally, not for their benefit, but for your own. Because to do anything less is not to be who you truly are. To be your true, authentic self is to love humanity unconditionally, without reservation, but to have discernment as to who is in your life physically, who gets to come into your inner circle. That you exert very radical discernment because you only want people who are capable of truly loving and supporting you. So some of you need to let some people go because they're draining you, but you love them anyway. Again, for your sake, not theirs. They may not love themselves at all, no matter how much you love them, right? Love is an inside job, not an outside job, inside. It all comes from you. You're the source, you're creator in a body. So tend to yourself, tend to your own self-love, love yourself unconditionally, love others unconditionally, but be very discerning about who's in your inner circle. Most people would do well to have a smaller inner circle of people. You can have a social circle of people that you see socially, but they're not really close to you, right? You don't really confide in them. You're not really that intimately involved in their lives like your best friend. That is the path to spiritual ascension and to raising your frequency. So I hope that makes sense. Comment on school if you have any question, and draw your line with some people if you need to do that. Okay. Gail says, love is an inside job. I love that. Right. It all starts here where people are running around going, I want somebody to love me. I want somebody to love me. It's like, wait. Do you love yourself? The universe mirrors your energy back to you. You've got to start with you. If you don't love you, oh, look what happened. See the fireworks, people? That was Alan creating those fireworks on the screen. What was that about? I can't even make that happen again. That fireworks explosion happened before in an academy class, and Alan made that happen. It's so, see, this is evidence of the afterlife. All right, well, you know your homework now, okay? We hope to see your comments on school, and whenever you join us for this class, because like I said, you'll be able to purchase this workshop later, but we'll always have the school platform, I'm pretty sure. So you can still comment, like, what did you experience? Share there. All right. So thank you for joining us. We'll see you on next time, 2 days from now, the day after tomorrow on Thursday. We'll see you then. Take care. Have fun with Archangel Chamuel. Right. Bye-bye now.